Hello, Barendipitous here with another video for the Board Game Shelf. This is going to be the last segment of the Gloomhaven section of my Board Game Shelf. So, imagine, if you will, that you are such a huge fan of Gloomhaven, you played a lot, you understand the game in and out, and you thought, hey, these character classes in Gloomhaven or Frosthaven or Jaws of the Lion or the one from Forgotten Circles, they're really cool. But I have an idea for a new character class that I would love to play in Gloomhaven. I had the same idea as well. I thought of I had a cool, librarian or archivist kind of, or lore master type of character that I think would be cool for Gloomhaven. That's definitely not a new thing. There are a lot of board games out there that have fans that make custom content, right? And there are a lot of board game publishers out there that are happy to support custom content under certain rules, obviously. And they give assets of like, hey, if you want to make something look like pretty legit, as long as you make it clear that it's not directly from us, here's some assets for you to use, and so on and so forth. So, here's the thing about the Gloomhaven custom class community, and there is definitely one. I had this idea for like a librarian or lore master character class for Gloomhaven, and I started thinking, I started trying to conceptualize what that would look like, and then I saw that there was a community around creating custom classes for Gloomhaven. So I went to the Discord for that, and I saw that they had an incredibly long and detailed process in the community. Because obviously, I mean, you can make whatever you want, obviously. If I wanted to just make a character class, I could. But if you want to make it good, and if you want it to be accepted by the community as like really good and on par with official Gloomhaven character classes, there is a long process of, having the concept like approved by your peers, having it play tested by your peers, and like people spend months and years on like creating a character class. So, in Gloomhaven, so I'm like, you know what? I do not have the time or the energy for that. I'll leave that to people who are really, really serious about this. Which that's fine. I have a lot of other things going on in my life anyway. But those who have but over the past like 6 or 7 years or whatever, there have been a lot of character classes created by fans, and there were some fans who came together to create a new, completely fan-made, not at all endorsed, not at all officially supported by Cephalofair Games. Although Cephalofair Games is happy to let them make things as long as they follow certain rules. But yeah, they made this. Fans made this, the Crimson Scales. It is basically a standalone, an unofficial, fan-made expansion set in the Gloomhaven universe. You do need to have Gloomhaven or Frosthaven to play this, because there's some components that this does not have. But this is an entirely new campaign that has new, all these character classes were created by fans, and they've been vetted by their own community and everything, and they look awesome, and the way that they play seem awesome. So, so how did this physical product get made? So technically, Crimson Scales is available for free for everybody. All of the assets, all of the scenarios, all of the card art, even the 3D models for miniatures, everything is available for free on the Crimson Scales website. You can just get those things if you want to print everything yourself. But understandably, there were a number of people who did not want to do all the printing themselves, and they wanted like a good, a good physical product. And so the people behind Crimson Scales, they arranged to, you can purchase Crimson Scales from them, and the purchase price is just the printing price. Like there's no profit whatsoever that they're getting from it. They just kind of made this. And yeah, I decided, you know what? My wife and I, we like Gloomhaven enough, and this looks really cool. So we have this. We have not started this at all. We want to finish Gloomhaven Forgotten Circles, and so we finished Gloomhaven already. We want to finish Forgotten Circles, and we want to finish Frosthaven before getting into this. But yeah, this is a full, completely new campaign with all these new character classes and everything. And and the way that this game works is like, so normally in Gloomhaven and Frosthaven, you have 6 character classes that are unlocked at the beginning, and then you unlock classes later as you go. With this one though, they give you like a bunch of, you basically get to choose which 4 classes you want to start unlocked. They don't tell you what they are necessarily. They just kind of like, here's, actually, let me try to find it in the rule book here. I think it's really cool. You can sort of like choose how you want to, you kind of like choose how you want to start your adventure. Let's see, a bunch of rules. Here we go. They give you a bunch of starting groups. All right. And they tell you, like, the group summary, this one features delayed damage, delayed damage, protection, support, healing, debuffing, and terrain creation, average complexity rating, and, so you can choose either the militants group, protectors, explorers, trailblazers, or naturalists. You choose one of these groups, and, whichever you and your other players decide, you are able, those 4 classes are unlocked, and you get to start with those, and then throughout the rest of the game, you unlock all the other classes. Even though my wife and I have not started playing the game, we did choose one of these groups. I believe we chose militants because I did look on the Crimson Scales website to see what each of the classes are, just kind of understand it, and yeah, we chose this one because this seems to be I like these concepts a lot as well. The Bombard, the Fire Knight, and whatever these are. I'm drawing a blank here. Some kind of priest character and some kind of like powerful like poison alchemist or whatever. So yeah, so there's that. And so my wife and I, we decided, you know what, sorry, I'm trying to close the box here. My wife and I, we the air and everything escaping and stuff. We were interested enough in this that we're like, you know what, let's purchase this, from the, for the printing price from the people who made this. Like the main person behind it, they call themselves Board Game 613, and there's lots of other people that worked with them as well. And yeah, so we purchased this, and we also purchased basically. Actually, one thing we did not purchase from them was the miniatures. I decided that it would probably be cheaper, slightly cheaper, for us to just print the miniatures ourselves. There is a 3D printer. There's a 3D printer that I was able to use nearby, in my local library. And so, yeah, I have this. This is I'm really excited about this particular class, the Bombard. He looks really, really cool. He's represented here, by the way. He doesn't have his whole machine, but there he is. But yeah, here's some other. I have all the miniatures printed. In total, it cost about $70 because there were over a dozen miniatures and stuff, and I also had to take apart all the supports myself and stuff. But yeah, you can see these minis are very complex. This is another class I'm excited about, the Hierophant, the priest character. Yeah, right there. This one's right there, and this one's right there. And there's miniatures for all of these, right? The Chain Guard looks cool. This sort of like alchemist kind of guy looks cool. The Fire Knight, very excited about him, and so forth. So yeah, so I have all the miniatures. I just didn't want to carry them all out here, but just kind of show you what they look like. I just used the STL files that were on the Crimson Scales website. I also love that on the bottom they have the class symbol as well. I think that's really cool. I think Cephalofair Games is going to be has started doing that as well. But yeah, so Crimson Scales, very excited to start this. Now here's another interesting thing. There is also an expansion to this. There's another fan-made expansion to this as well, Trail of Ashes. Made by the same people behind Crimson Scales. This is basically just like, there's 5 more classes, there's a few more scenarios, and yeah, I also printed, we also have 3D printed miniatures for all of these as well. So yeah, that's a lot of Gloomhaven. This is basically another Gloomhaven game, essentially. This is, Crimson Scales alone is about as big as normal Gloomhaven in terms of the number of scenarios and the number of classes. Add Trail of Ashes to that, and yeah, it's getting to about like Frosthaven levels, basically. Also, another really cool thing is this book came with it as well. This is basically a just collected artworks and everything, and also the developers behind the game and behind these classes talked about their thought process behind these various classes that they created. So very, very cool. I love it. And you just see all this really awesome artwork, and I'm very happy to have this as well. So this doesn't really help with the game at all, but it's just a really cool art book as well. So man, talk about it's amazing to me that this is a unofficial fan-made. These are unofficial fan-made products because they did a fantastic job. Just like, as far as I know, the game, like, people, I've heard very good things about the the game scenarios themselves and the balance of the character classes and the mechanics of the character classes, and the quality of the product is all as well is also very good. But again, it cost over $100. We purchased these a few years ago. So yeah, my wife and I are definitely all in on Gloomhaven stuff. We try to limit the number of board game series that we're all in on. Gloomhaven is just one of them, basically. There aren't very many others that we're all in on. We try to have some degree of moderation, but I'm very excited to finally get into this once we finish Forgotten Circles and Frosthaven, because there's some cool stuff in here, and I'm excited to see what the scenarios and the journey looks like. So that is now officially all of the Gloomhaven things that we have. Gloomhaven, Frosthaven, other smaller official Haven things, and of course Crimson Scales stuff. So there you go. So now the next Board Game Shelf video will talk about something other than the Gloomhaven family of games here. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, all the best.